Hey everybody, this is kind of a spur of the moment live, only because I want to have an open chat today a little bit about some things. And hey, Zero Filter, hi Debbie, Amanda, Yolanda, how's everybody doing? I think Amy is going to join me on here. Hey Amy, hey Olivia. First and foremost, before Amy joins me, I think she'll be clicking the link and coming on here soon. I want to say this. There was a couple things that happened in my last live stream that were not my doing, but I want to address it. On this channel, oh, thank you so much, Yolanda. Thank you. On this channel, we do not bash any other creators. We don't talk poorly about them. We do not scrutinize them. We do not say mean things about them, and we don't judge them. So, with that said, I ask everyone who's in the chat, all of my subs, to please maintain that dignity with me. It's often better that we don't take that route. It's not our place to judge other creators, and that it's not our place to speak poorly about other creators. So just don't do it here, period. Even if you're one of my wrenches and a moderator for my channel, just don't do it, please. I don't like it. I don't want people to speak poorly about me, and I don't want people to make me feel like that. And I try to treat other people how I want to be treated. And I follow that aspect throughout life. So with that said, I think most people are good. Most everybody, I don't see you doing that. I did just want to address it before I got started today. Hey, Sandy, happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, Zero Filter, I prefer that. There's no need for it. There's enough hate in this world. There's enough hate. We don't need to bash other creators. We don't need to talk about them poorly or judge them. It will not be done here, no matter who it is. So, oh, nothing, Irish. There was just a couple things in the last chat that were brought to my attention, and I don't wanted to make that clear that that's not something I stand for. It's not anything that I did. So, and it's nothing that this channel will ever promote or anything like that. So, hey, pretty peaches. Hey, Will. Oh, there's quite a few of you on here. This is totally spur of the moment because I'm going to be busy later this evening. I'll probably be coming on way later, but for most of the evening, I'm going to be busy. And let me just apologize in advance for any background noise. My boys had a half day of school today, so I have, you're funny, Irish. I have teenagers and a girlfriend of a teenager here and an 11-year-old in the background, plus 3 dogs. So yeah, that's my chaos today. I am going to go ahead and bring Amy on with me. And I do want to address one more thing before Amy and I get started. A couple people, I've seen some comments asking where Tisha is. And Tisha is still around. She's still my partner in Real Massacre Talk. We're still in this together. She's just busy. She's working. She has a family, a son, some, life stuff going on. And that's okay. Most of Tisha and I's stuff was always podcast and pre-recorded and stuff like that. So she's still here for anybody who is wondering. She's still my partner. We're still in this together. And Amy is here with me. Hey, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for coming on with me.
Oh, always. Thank you for having me.
No problem. For anybody who's wondering, Amy is part of our Real Massacre Talk team. She does help with quite a few of our groups, actually. And she has been very, very helpful with our Gannon group and helping us find information and remain logical and all of the above.
Well, thank you. That's a nice compliment.
No problem. Have a good day, Will. So, anyways, I guess what I kind of wanted to talk about today. Today is day 18. She is awesome, Irish. Today is day 18 of Gannon missing, and I kind of just wanted to go over what we know and what we don't know, along with applying some logic to this. And before I say this, and before we get into the discussion, just let me say if there's any friends or family of Gannon listening, please know that we are hopeful for him being brought home safely. We are praying for him. You know, our hearts are with the family. And the thing with Real Massacre Talk is so the name can be discouraging because we typically do cover cases that are already or already like have some sort of resolution. You know, it's not typically, we don't often cover missing children cases. So I don't want the title or the name of our channel to be discouraging to Gannon's fate because that doesn't mean anything. Hey, Nicole. Um, at the same time, at Real Massacre Talk, we are always honest. Always honest. We will not skate around the truth, and we will not omit any truth just because, you know, there might be family or friends listening. We understand that it's hurtful, or we understand that it's a very, very emotional time for you, but we're here to dig through the facts and get to the bottom of things. So with that comes truth and honesty and logic, and sometimes those things can be upsetting, and we understand that. So with that said, I guess that we will just get to it, Amy.
Sounds good.
I need to throw Nicole a wrench. Nicole's down there in the
I know. Hi,
chat.
Nicole.
She is also a member of our Real Massacre Talk team. I love Nicole. She's awesome. Hey, Angela, thanks for joining us. Hey, Danette.
Oh,
Oh,
Jenny Anderson. That's a
thank
nice
you, Jenny.
compliment.
Thank you. So, I guess this is where I want to start. We're at day 18. There was a press conference. Was it not a press? It wasn't really a press conference. What did they call it? It was
I
the El
think
Paso County spokesperson just kind of
person. Yeah.
chatting with the media. Um, and of course, most of her answers were, yes, it would, Carolina girl. Most of her answers were, oh, you know, I can't elaborate on that. That's part of the investigation. That was what we heard over and over again.
Right.
So
There was some body language.
there
I
was
will
some
say
body
that.
language. There was. And there was also something else that stood out to me. So she said in that press conference, or what, I don't even know what to call it. I'm going to call it a press conference, even though that's not what it was. Um, she said, you know, we are looking to bring Gannon home alive or safely or something to those terms. And
Yes.
then she made the statement that as a mother, she cannot imagine wondering if her child is okay. So she kind of, in a way, she gave you her media face, and then she gave you her human face, her mother
Yes.
face, and her mother emotions. And I think that's what many of us can relate to because the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is sticking to their story.
Yes. Well, she was directly asked at one point if she had been crying, and she
Mhm.
addressed that saying that she had some personal issues. And then she went into saying that she has called her own son Bubba. And then she went into the other statement, and I think her, for lack of a better word, her veil dropped for a moment.
Right. Right.
And yes, and we were seeing inferences of what she may think or what she may know.
Right.
So,
Right. And since then, we have seen the concentrated search efforts in one specific area that began yesterday. Currently, they are, as of what, about an hour ago it was, Amy? The searchers were, it looked like they were digging, not digging, but they were taking their poles that they have and sticking it down in the snow in a ditch on that 35-acre property, right on the edge of the road almost.
right,
And at the same time, it's been reported that a bloodhound was brought to the Stauch residence and has began canvassing the neighborhood. So those are some scary things. Those are some scary things. And I think what is scary when we apply logic, this area that they are searching for Gannon, what did we figure out, Amy? It's about 45 minutes from their home.
we did. We said it was 45 minutes from their home. And as a child, he would probably walk about 2 miles an hour. And that's not even giving him a handicap for the terrain and the weather.
Correct.
It would
Correct.
take him a full day nonstop to get there on foot.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So logically speaking, Gannon could not have gotten to that area on his own.
No.
He would have had to walk, like you said, a day straight, literally, with little,
Protection from the weather.
right, little protection from the environment and the elements. As far as we know, he left in blue jeans, a jacket, which I understand to be like a hoodie type jacket or a light kind of
Right.
jacket, and
Right.
tennis shoes. I think you had mentioned earlier, there was nothing said about him having a hat on or gloves on or anything like that.
No.
Um,
No. And I mean, I don't live in those elements. I live in Florida. I've been in them before, but I can tell you that if you fall in the snow and you don't have gloves on, your hands are cold and wet. Your clothes get cold and wet if you don't have that
right.
outer covering. It's not really a plausible situation for him to come out successfully.
It's not. It's not. And I think what is troubling to me is that we see the search efforts. We see them flying drones in the air and giving us aerial footage of the area that they're searching, which is it looks like a very intentional area. They're not just there randomly. That's not just a random search. And seeing them walking and poking their poles through the snow to see if there's anything under there is very telling to me. And
Yes.
and I don't want to like take hope away from anybody because of that, because that's not what I'm trying to do at all. I'm trying to be completely transparent here with what I see.
Well, and I just had a thought, and I will add to that. If that's really upsetting to some people, I will say that down here in swampy areas and where we have like leaf litter, they will do that so that they don't disrupt the whole area in case there's evidence. I don't know if it's the same for snow, but yeah.
Right. Right. Hold on one second. I'm gonna
Sure.
have to address something in the comments.
Did I miss something?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Um, so it's just there's a lot of things that are very discouraging to me.
Yes.
It's very discouraging that we are on, day 18. And also in that press conference, it was asked by one of the reporters, something about Gannon leaving his house at 3:15. And the El Paso County spokeswoman, her words, these might not be exact, but they're close. Her words were, El Paso County's office, sheriff's office, didn't say that.
Right.
We didn't say that's what time he left the house.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
that's
that let
very. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's very telling. It's very telling because El Paso County doesn't even. They won't even confirm Keisha's story that Gannon left the house at 3:15.
Right.
I mean, she basically said without saying it, that's Tisha's story. That's not our story. That's not what we're
Right.
saying as law, law officers, as investigators, as the FBI, who are all working together. They're not saying that. Tisha's saying that.
Right.
So that's very telling. Yes, Amanda, that part was pretty telling. Pretty
Yes.
telling. Um,
So when we were talking about this today,
okay,
we
that's what she said. That's what came through on the 911 call. That's not our words.
right. That was the report they received, not the report they made.
Right, right,
There's a difference.
right.
Um,
Absolutely.
so when Danielle and I were talking about this today, we started trying to lay out what we know as fact. And it's very little. And that leaves more room for possibilities of what the outcome of this case could be. So we started with the time of the disappearance, the time that he was reported as a runaway, by the way, at
Right,
first.
right.
Yes.
And there's essentially, we were talking about this in our admin chat. There's essentially two time frames that need to be looked at for that particular day. There is the 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. time frame that we had discussed in a previous live, but there's also the 3:15 p.m. time till, I don't recall off the top of my head what time they called the cops. I want to say it was between 6 and 7 p.m.
It was.
So there's also that time frame. That time frame that she says Gannon left the house, and the time frame that the initial Facebook, oh my gosh, 911 call was made. So
Right.
those, that's a lot of time. And even though Lena would have been home from school, I don't really necessarily think that means anything.
It doesn't, because you can distract another child with a story. They can go watch a DVD in the other room, whatever she does. Yes. That, so she's not following Tisha around the house, probably like stuck to her leg.
Right,
You
she's
know.
8 years old.
Right.
So she's essentially self-sufficient. She
Right.
can sit and watch. Hold on one second. Don't close that all the
Sure.
way, okay? Sorry, guys, teenagers. Um
2 feet on the floor.
yeah, yeah. Lena, here I am talking about kids being self-sufficient. Anyways, Lena is basically self-sufficient. She can, sit and watch a movie or play on an iPad or play with her dolls or whatever she's into. I don't know what she's into,
Right.
but at that age, children pretty much, I would say for the most part, they do their own thing around the house.
They do. They're independent within your home. They're going
Absolutely.
to the bathroom on their own. They can get a drink on their own. They play on their own. Yes. They can work the
Yes.
remote on the TV. Yes.
Right. They basically, they still need babysitters, but that
Yes.
doesn't that doesn't mean that Tisha couldn't have been doing things. I don't know what those things would have been, but during that, 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours before the 911 call was made. So,
And that's a lot of time.
that is a lot of time. That is a lot of
It's
time.
a lot of time. And let me just say this. It's not a aha moment or anything, but when a child is missing, even if you say they've run away, when they're out of your sight and you don't know where they are, 4 hours is a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot could happen in that 4 hours. And that brings me to Tisha has repeatedly said online, I've seen that. I can't count how many screenshots I've seen her say this. Landon knows where he's at. Landon is behind this. You know,
Mhm.
all those things that she said. And she even made a statement about looking at a lineup or something to that effect.
Yes, I've been looking at lineups.
Yes. And we have
Lineups
to,
of who?
right, right. We have to be real here because if there was a suspect in a potential abduction, there would be some kind of composite sketch. There would be some kind of identifying factors released on that person. Even if
Mhm.
they don't have a sketch, they could say, this person is this tall with this color hair and was last seen wearing these clothes, and it's possible that
They're
Gannon
driving
is
this
with this
car.
person, yes, and they drive this type of vehicle. Law enforcement isn't saying that.
Right.
And I wholeheartedly believe that if that were true, they would say that because they want Gannon brought home. They
I
want to
agree.
bring him home.
I agree. I've always thought they don't, as long as they find Gannon, they'll deal with how he disappeared later. Right
Right,
now, the goal is to find the child. And
right.
yes, if it's somebody that she knew and could identify, they would have pulled an ID and posted that. They would have done a composite sketch. She's seen him. If they
Mhm.
left in a car, he would meet the criteria for an Amber Alert. None
Right,
of that has been done. And we were
right,
just having a conversation. I won't go through the whole story, but Amber Alerts are issued if you meet the criteria immediately.
right, right.
We're on day
And
18.
there's there's even instances where Amber Alerts have been issued days later when
Yes.
information has been confirmed.
Yes. Yeah. This doesn't make any sense. Her statements, because we know they came from her. We know
Right,
that
right,
are not adding up.
right.
They just aren't. We have a lot of things that we don't know, but she's addressing things that the police haven't brought up, that the public has speculated about, like the carpet. We've all heard about blood on the carpet. We've heard about
Absolutely.
carpet removed from the home. We don't know if there was blood on the carpet, and we don't know if they removed carpet from the home. We just
Right,
don't know.
right.
It seems like they did, but she addressed it and had a story for it. That's
She has a story for everything.
for anything you bring up.
I mean, I didn't even know about this whole side gate thing until she presented a story about the side gate, which is
Right.
crazy to me. She has
Yes.
a story for everything, and I'm not saying she's guilty of anything. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, I think we all have our own opinions and our own thoughts on that, and we don't even have to say what we think about that. That's fine. But I mean, let's be real. I don't even have a story for everything that I've done in a day.
I don't either. And the other thing I always notice, because I just looked at somebody's comment and it kind of like popped up in my head. What was it that she said? Oh, April Kate said blood in the garage on car, and somebody else said something else about cutting his foot. So first of all, she takes the time to address the blood on the carpet, right? That we don't even know is true. But it's important enough for her to have a story for it. So
Right.
then she says, well, Gannon cut his foot in the garage because he stepped on his tool or stepped on a tool.
Right.
Al never puts his tools away. Now, it's always like something happened in my care, but really not my fault.
Mhm.
Always.
Mhm.
Always.
It's it's very problematic for me because I think Tisha is accomplishing her goal. And her goal is to cause mass confusion. That's honestly what I think. I think she's trying to confuse people and it's working.
Yes. I
It's
agree.
working. Um and Trina, I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. She
Oh,
reminds you of
Trina.
Silence of the Lambs dropping clues to the public. I do
Mhm.
feel like we're being dropped Easter eggs everywhere. Like,
Yes.
watch what I say now. What can you figure out from this statement?
Mhm.
That's how I see this stuff. Hey, Carla. Um,
Riddle me this. Yeah.
yes, April Kate. Her goal is to line up truths and facts with her version of events. It's very
Mhm.
interesting to see. It's very
Right.
interesting.
And then when you think about the fact that she has, I mean, we all have things saved on our phones, but when you have things saved on your phones that automatically back up anything anybody accuses you of in a or speculates about, I don't know. To me that is it sends my mind going somewhere I don't want to say out loud.
Right, right. I get what you're saying. And, to point out the contrary to that, there's been a lot of speculation about Landon. And I'll just say this again before anybody even goes there. This channel 100% supports Landon, Albert, and the family of Gannon. Um, you don't see Landon doing this. You don't see Landon saying, well, Tisha said this about me, but here's these screenshots to prove you guys wrong.
Mhm.
But that's what we
Yeah.
see Tisha doing,
Yeah.
and it's very, very alarming.
I was in North Carolina that night at 11 o'clock. I have my proof from my Domino's pizza delivery before I heard all of this. And then I stopped for Starbucks on the way to the airport. And here's me in the terminal crying. No. Mm-mm.
Right.
No.
Oh, and I had a hangnail. That might be why there was blood on my end of my sweatshirt because it was bleeding and I didn't have a bandage. I mean, it's just
I
like,
was so nervous. I was chewing my nails and I bled.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes. So that's why my saliva and my blood might be there. Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
nobody else in the character, I don't want to say characters, and the players we know in this case, nobody else is making those kind of statements.
No,
And there are people talking about Landon, there are,
right,
and but she's not doing this because I
right.
feel like when you know you're telling, oh, this is dangerous territory, so
Do
cut
not.
me off in a heartbeat. But when you know you're telling the truth, you don't feel the need to defend yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Plated Lizard, I am 100% with you on that statement. If that were my stepchild, I wouldn't care what people were saying about me. I'd be freaking out over the missing kid. And to
Me
take that a
too.
step further, if that were any child,
Right.
I come on this platform, I don't care what people have to say or think because I'm here to bring awareness, about any case, not just this case. But so that's what people with the right intentions do.
Right. And yes, Sandra says, and your story doesn't change. And I'll
Right.
add to that. You sometimes we think about minute details later that we didn't think were relevant at first. I do that all the time. I think back on a conversation, I'm like, wow, yeah, now that makes sense or whatever. But she is peppering, and I'm being polite, her story with new details every time it comes out. Why wouldn't you just tell those things all at once? These aren't things she just remembered.
Right. No, she absolutely only tells us these things after things come out about her or
As
things come out about the situation or
So her truth in quotation marks is on an as needed basis.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really take her answers or her responses to things that are said as being valid because she's already seen what's said. So she can already sit and think, well, how am I going to justify this? Let me think about what I can say about this. And let's
Right.
be real. I mean, let's go back to the bandage story. If Gannon did cut his foot in the garage and Gannon's foot was bandaged, who can prove that it wasn't?
Right, because Gannon's not here.
Well, right. Gannon's missing, and there were no other adults around because
Right.
Albert was out of town in Oklahoma on military training, and Gannon's mother was 2,000 miles away at her home in South Carolina.
Right.
So there's nobody else who can counter what she says. That's a problem.
Yes, it's a huge problem. And she doesn't appear to be as transparent as we would like her to be.
Right.
And we can't dictate that on somebody else. I mean, we
Right.
can't. But,
Oh,
you
Jamie,
know,
that's a good one. She's pulling what my dad used to say to me, hocus pocus, let's change the focus. I think I'm going to
oh,
start using that with my
I,
16-year-old.
I love that
I like it
deflection.
too. I like it too. It's 100% deflection. And um Ann Lee, you would think her attorney would tell her to shut up and stay off of social media. You think she would get an attorney. I said this, I think, in my last live. Despite what I believe to be the truth or what I believe to have happened, being objective, this woman needs an attorney.
If anything, she needs a spokesperson.
Right.
An attorney spokesperson would be better. But I I don't
Well,
believe
no, her spokesperson currently is her 17-year-old daughter's social media account.
right, which she has hijacked.
Right. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Admittedly, she
Right.
admittedly, not me speculating. Admittedly hijacked.
Right.
I don't believe she has an attorney because in my experience, most attorneys, if your client was doing this at this point, you would sit down and say, you either shut up or I'm gone.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, I'm sending my team over there and we're taking all your electronics and you have a
Absolutely.
landmine. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in the
And
same respect, you know, loose lips sink ships. So
it,
keep on talking. But
keep on that's what I say every time. Keep on talking, Letitia. Even good or whether I think that she's guilty of something or not, if it's going to help find Gannon, keep on talking.
right.
I'll
Right.
listen to you all day long.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I've lost too much sleep listening to her lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, it makes my head spin.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world? Um, I just there's so much BS to try and weed through when it comes to her. It's unreal. It's unreal.
There is. And it just, her, every time something comes out, anytime she's mentioned, she finds a way to address it and she uses very choice, maybe not choice words because that sounds like swearing. She chooses her words very carefully. It appears to be cryptic
Mhm.
and it's unsettling.
It is unsettling. It's very unsettling. It's scary and it's sick.
It
I'm gonna
is.
I'm I'm gonna keep my opinions about all of that to myself for now, like my strong opinions on it. But I will voice those at one point in time when there's some type of resolution in this case.
Yes.
And there will be resolution. I have to hold on to hope. I think we all have to hold on to hope. There's going to be resolution in Gannon's case. What that resolution is, we don't know. We don't know.
Right. Well, and the fact that they're doing very concentrated searches right now makes you hopeful that they're on track for the truth, whether it's the truth we want or not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's very I just it's very discouraging. And no problem, Carla. No problem. Thank you for joining us here. I think what's very discouraging for me right now personally is seeing these searches and the location of the search that's going on in the terrain and the area, because as a logical person, I think we said this earlier when we were talking. Gannon's not out there in the mountains, you guys, living in a snow
No,
fort.
no. He's not living in a snow fort, cuddling with his siblings, trying to survive for 3 days. He's not.
Right,
We're on day 18, and he
right,
hasn't been sent. There's not been a sighting that we know of,
right,
and I'm afraid we would know if there
right.
was,
I think that
since he
some of the
disappeared.
tips did say potential sightings, but law enforcement has said that they've weeded through all of the tips.
Right.
So I think we can justify that by saying, okay, so, there was an alleged sighting, law enforcement vets every tip, and here we are today, and they're searching a mountain. So
Right.
if you use the process of logic and elimination, you get your answers a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those answers are unfortunate. Hey, Sharma Lily.
Back here a little ways, somebody asked a question
Okay.
or made a statement. I don't swerving in my lane. One of my questions is, when did her backpedaling rant, the latest one, was she schooling the public or herself, especially when referring to technology today? Um,
So her backpedaling began on Sunday.
yes.
Sunday, this past Sunday, her backpedaling began 5 days ago. And it has been slow and continuous throughout the week. It's been kind of hit and miss. Some days she's on there backpedaling. The recent focus has been that her family members, Tisha's family members, tried to set up a GoFundMe for her, and GoFundMe would not allow it. So now the supporters of Tisha have provided Harley's GoFundMe, Venmo, or not GoFundMe, I'm sorry, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App,
Right.
all of the links that Harley has to receive money directly to her bank account. Supporters of Tisha have provided this information for the public to send Harley and Tisha money, because a
Right.
GoFundMe is not allowed.
Right.
And from our understanding, I think we did some research into this, Amy. GoFundMe is a pretty fluid site.
Yes.
There's not many restrictions
No.
on creating a GoFundMe. However, there are a couple restrictions in place, and one of them would be you can't create a GoFundMe if you are believed to be involved in illegal activity. I don't know the specific term or the specific, you
I
know,
don't. I
verb
don't know
the
either.
the verbiage, but I believe that is accurate. So
Right. Carolina
so
Girl says her rants, I'm guessing on social media, were almost like a drunk text. That's kind of how I felt too. Or like she just couldn't hold it in anymore.
right,
She
right,
has to be, I don't know why I keep saying this to myself, but it's like she has to be relevant. And she doesn't. I mean, she knows more than anybody else on this planet, unless there's someone else involved. Well, okay, she is the only person that we know on this planet that has very specific information up until the moment he disappeared.
right.
She was the only one there. So,
And she was the only one there after he disappeared too, until the
right,
next day when both Albert got in from Oklahoma and when Landon arrived from South Carolina.
correct.
So that's very interesting. Yes, Manda, that is interesting, right? That they tried to pass a GoFundMe being created.
Mm-hmm.
by Landon's family, but it was not Landon's family that
Well,
created the GoFundMe.
is it possible that's why it was taken down?
It could be. That could be.
Mhm.
I mean, and that would be being involved in illegal activity
That would be
or
fraud.
committing a crime, because that's fraud.
Right.
You cannot create a GoFundMe and say you're the family of somebody. That's a fraudulent GoFundMe. So that could be why.
Right.
Absolutely, that, she's not allowed to create a GoFundMe. What they are saying now, I think I saw a few questions about why she's asking for money. So there were a couple reasons. Tisha has said that Albert has frozen her out of all of the accounts. She has no money. She said the police took $10,000 worth of her diamonds.
I'm sorry. It's not funny.
It is funny because it's
It's just when I
laughable.
saw that.
It's a joke.
When I saw that, I was.
That's a joke. Oh, and the police took her ID, but see, this is the problem. You can't rent a hotel room without an
Without an
ID.
ID.
And you also have to be 18 years old to
So
rent a
Harley
hotel
can't do it.
a hotel room. So Harley cannot rent that hotel room for her mom. So
Right.
sorry to tell you, Tisha, you have your ID. The cops did not take it.
No.
Um
Yeah, the
and
cops don't take your ID.
right.
They take it when you die.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The other reason was that Harley is in the reserves and she had to miss her training because of this, because of Gannon being missing. And so she's not even going to get paid this month. And she only gets paid $200 a month anyways when she does get paid. I'd like to ask Tisha where her Social Security is for Harley, because Tisha would receive Social Security benefits for Harley until the age of 18 because Harley's father is deceased.
This is like a little off subject, but in that post, she stated that someone else was in the house wearing her clothes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She said.
Sorry.
She said in her post that somebody else is in her house wearing her clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I just had to laugh at this comment. Who just said it? I gotta find it because it was funny. Gotta find
Was it swerving in my lane?
What? Probably. Let me find it. I got lost here.
Maybe one of her sugar daddies rented
Yes,
a hotel
that
room.
was the one that I just laughed at.
Oh, dear.
Oh my gosh.
She's
Oh
sleeping
my
in a
gosh.
heart-shaped bed.
I mean, do your thing, girl. Whatever. I'm not here to throw judgment. I'm not going to encourage it either. But at the same time, come on. We were all born on a day and it wasn't yesterday, Tisha.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they may take her passport. That's true if she were to get arrested. But she physically said they took her diamonds and they took her ID.
They have to have, so you have to understand, even if they take your passport, that has to be ordered by a judge. It's not like they pull up to your house and just take things out of your, yeah.
Well, and okay, so law enforcement is not going to take your ID for a couple reasons, unless you're under arrest, and she's not under arrest. It is illegal as an adult to not have identification.
Right.
You can be ticketed for not having identification.
Right.
2, taking her ID does nothing. It does nothing. Right. Clearly, she's rented a hotel room. Somebody's done that. I don't know. It's just.
Yes. See, Danette says, see, Friday she played nice and now she can't help it. She has to attack about clothing and 10 grand in diamonds. Yeah. And it's extraneous information. It has nothing to do with finding Gannon. So it's all a distraction. It's all, I mean, really, she is saying, look at me, because look at us. We're talking about it. But it has nothing to, what is that? Is that an insinuation that's somebody took Gannon because they wanted her diamonds? I mean, it just doesn't.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
And to address Kay Marie, a 17-year-old can be in the reserves. So
Sorry.
yeah, a
Did you
17-year-old is allowed in the reserves.
did you see Trina's comment?
I did not.
They say, okay, if the police
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great point. That is probably one of the best. Yes, Trina, you're right. As soon as
Oh
it,
dear.
Trina said, okay, if the police took her diamonds, but yet she was telling Gannon they got to sell the couch due to the carpet. Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, it's easier to a couch is way more liquid than diamonds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So my guess is she wants those diamonds to pawn them, and Albert's saying, hell no, you're not getting anything. So she's going to blame it on the cops. I don't know. But the cops did not take her diamonds. Come on.
Mm.
See, Carla, I agree with you. For an educated woman, Carla said, for an educated woman, she really does sound stupid. I'm sorry. I have to agree that she does not sound like she is a person who has great eloquence in speaking. But I also think that that is an act. I think that she wants us to think that she is not mentally smart enough to cover her tracks like this. So I don't know.
I think in a way she's a chameleon. Her delivery and her speech and her writing, she can change according to the situation she's in. And we all do that to a certain extent. Like if we write a work email, we're going to speak a little bit better than sending a text that says, "Hey girl, hey."
Right.
Like you don't do
Right.
that to your boss. But I think she uses that to her slippery slope, but I'll say it. I think that she uses that to her advantage.
Go.
What did I miss?
You guys are killing me with the comments. I'm sorry. I really try not to laugh on lives, but this is funny. Go
What did I miss?
go pawn your Kate Spades.
Oh, yes. What
Yeah,
did someone in our group said last night? Like, she seems to be very focused on money. And we said, yes, Kate Spade and Lily Pulitzer would agree. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had to mute for a second. There
That's
was
okay.
some yelling going on in the background.
Real life.
Yes, real life here, guys. At least it's not
Dee
nighttime.
she did. So Dee says, didn't T say she or her daughter were handcuffed? During that first interview, the only on-camera interview she did mention that they were putting her daughter in handcuffs. I mean, obviously, we don't know if that's true. These
are T's words.
These are Tisha's statements. She
So
also
far
said,
so far we have she was refused the right to go to the bathroom. She was refused something to drink. She was refused the ability to leave the police department. They refused her the right to a lawyer. Now the cops have taken her diamonds. They've taken her ID.
stop.
They've handcuffed her daughter.
Somebody else is wearing her clothes.
Somebody else is wearing her clothes. And this isn't stuff that we're making up. This isn't like we're sitting here trying to gossip about a woman. These are her own words. This is the shit she is saying. So it's unbelievable.
I love that we have little snarky people in the chat. I love it. April Kate says, P.S. Lily Pulitzer was over the second it landed at Target.
We were actually, Amy and I were laughing earlier in private about Lily Pulitzer. No offense to anybody on here who wears it. We were just getting some giggles about that stuff. Kind of wondering when she's going to pull out her Vera Bradley purses. And I can't.
Oh God. Carla says she's gonna come out with a statement that somebody hacked her Facebook. That's something a lawyer would say if they were defending her.
Yes. Yeah. It's and please excuse us for laughing because somebody totally chastised me for laughing when we were on the live when Trump came through. We're not laughing about the case. We're not laughing at this case or what is going on with Gannon. But sometimes you have to look at some of these surrounding factors and literally say WTF.
Right.
What am I seeing here? What Her Kardashian sunglasses.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
I'm waiting for that was a body double in that interview. It wasn't me. My doppelganger.
The women cops are now rocking her Louis Vuitton bag. You guys, you guys are funny. I'm glad that you get our humor because
Oh,
when
I'm
you
so scared to laugh right now. I'm like,
I know. When you line it's okay. I'm gonna laugh. I'm not laughing at the fact that Gannon is missing. I've cried tears over this boy. I've lost sleep over him being missing. I'm laughing at the fact when you line up every one of Tisha's statements and you look at them. I'm gonna type them out. When I come on my next live, I'm gonna type them out, and this is gonna be the background of the screen that you guys
oh, read Ann
because
Lee's
these are
comment.
her words.
Read Ann Lee's comment. I snorted. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I'll just highlight it, Ann Lee. Everybody can see it then. Oh,
Oh, Annie, what are gold digger sweatpants? I want to know.
absolutely, Sharma Lily. Absolutely. We have to find some humor or actually we would cry.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I will tell you that in Danielle's in the admin group, things get very dark
yes,
sometimes,
yes.
very dark and very serious, and so I think when Danielle comes on here and you guys are making little comments, it's a good release. It's not
It
meant as
is.
disrespect.
It is a good release because it's
Carla, Carla. I didn't expect that from you. Oh,
oh, you guys,
I'm
the
blushing.
comments.
I'm fanning my face.
Oh,
Oh,
they will be all of her defenses. She's gonna oh my gosh. She's going to blame Kobe Bryant's death. I know it.
oh
And the
yes,
diamonds. Oh my
yes.
gosh.
She
Yeah,
had a
she has already let us know that she was very upset
yes.
about Kobe dying, and she was crying on the hike, and Gannon was crying with her even though he didn't know who Kobe Bryant was.
Yes. And interesting that that was on the TV in her video too.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um,
Carla.
I can't
As
I
soon as it gets off my it goes above the line where I can't see it anymore. Every time I look up, I just see it.
I can't I mean, literally, when you read all the stuff that she's saying, you have to be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Yes, Marlene. Yeah, that's a good point. She's got all these goodies, and she's got that Poshmark set up. That Poshmark with what was on it again, Amy? Lily Pulitzer dresses,
Kate
um,
Spade purses,
Kate Spade purses, which are not cheap.
some kind of like some brands that are high end, but they're more like sold in like boutique environments. I think I saw Ted Baker on there, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
But she also sells off Harley's Poshmark account.
right, right,
She likes to use other people's social media and apparently their Poshmark accounts.
right, right.
Somebody asked if there was any news. There, there's really not. Danielle, at the beginning, do you want to just recap what you said?
Yeah, just to recap, because this isn't going to be a super long live. Sorry, I got tongue twisted a little bit. It's not going to be super long. So as of today, the latest is that the search teams are back out there at the area they were at yesterday. And the last photo I saw, it shows searchers kind of, they're in a ditch, but the ditch is filled with snow. And it's right along the roadway, and it's on that 35-acre property, which the Real Massacre Talk team has uncovered all the information on that, but we're not going to even disclose it until we know how it's linked. But anyways, the searchers are on the edge of that property in a ditch, and they're taking the poles that they're using and they're poking it down, the poles down in the snow. And then after that, there was a photo of law enforcement arriving at the Stauch home, and law enforcement having bye Irish, love you.
Bye,
um,
Irish.
Law enforcement bringing a bloodhound into the neighborhood, Lorson Ranch, where Gannon and his family lived or live, and they were taking bloodhounds, to my knowledge, from house to house. So that's a good point, BJ.
Yeah, we were having that conversation the other night about stuff like that. It's weird.
If I had a GoFundMe, I wouldn't be talking about all of my diamonds. They are just pissed the money got fenced off. Yeah, I agree. Um,
Jenna, I'm not sure they waited to bring the dogs. I think they've had dogs involved in other situations, but obviously something new warranted that, or something worth checking out a second time.
right, right. Melly Lynn said, I sell on Posh and eBay, and in no way did I purchase any of my inventory at full price, not even half price. Interesting. There's some speculation, keyword, that Tisha really didn't even purchase any of it at any price, but that's just speculation. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
so this area from the Petco, according to one of our team members who is actually local, she said would be about a 40-minute drive. And that does fit in the timeline, you know.
For her to be able to get back and forth.
Right, for her to leave Petco, go to that area, and then return to Petco. That would be about 80 minutes round trip, and you have a 2-hour time gap. So that leaves about 40 minutes of playroom.
Right.
Um, this is something we were speaking about last night, and this is interesting. Joe can probably attest to this. We were talking about this last night. It's interesting that the day that Gannon went missing, and Tisha was running errands, and she left with Gannon, she chose to drive the Nissan truck.
Yes.
Now, looking at it from a woman's perspective, if my husband's 2016 Nissan truck is sitting in the driveway, and my 2019 very, very pretty VW SUV is sitting in the driveway, I'm going to drive my SUV
Yeah. I
because
Yeah. She's
they're
also, if you've ever seen her and Albert standing next to each other, she's much shorter than he is. And
right,
like for me, I never drive my husband's car because I have to adjust seats and mirrors and all this stuff. And then it's like this back and forth thing. Like, I got to put it all back. You know what I mean? Like, we just
right,
don't, I'm more
right.
comfortable in my own car. And we don't, I mean, if we have to, we'll drive each other's cars, but I don't,
Right.
If for some reason
Right.
he's not here or whatever, I don't like it just sits until he comes back. I have no reason
Right.
to drive his car.
Absolutely. I feel like she drove that truck with intention that day. And
Yes.
Joe and I, car guy 72, we were speaking about this last night actually. Um, I believe it was Joe or maybe another admin member that asked if the truck was a 4x4, and it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, her SUV is a 4x4 too. But Joe even said, you wouldn't take an SUV like off-roading. You wouldn't really take that up into the mountains.
You
If
wouldn't take a VW Tiguan off roading. No.
right, right.
No.
You would if you had a vehicle to choose from between the two and you were going up to the mountains, what would you drive? You would
Right.
drive the truck. So, I want to scroll up really quick. LY said it's not illegal to not carry an ID. Maybe that depends on the state. Here it is illegal. You can be ticketed for not having a proper form of identification as an adult.
There's like a there's these people that do these First Amendment rights videos on that. There's a lot of ambiguity about that. So
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah.
can personally say, especially if you're driving a vehicle,
Yes.
you can be ticketed for not having your driver's license on you in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Yes.
to physically have your driver's license on
Mm-hmm.
on
But
you.
but facts. You cannot get a hotel room. You can't. I really don't think you could go to a mom and pop hotel without an ID.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you have to. You can't. Um, I don't know what she's driving these days, but she can't rent a car without an ID. Um, she can't go to the pawn shop without an ID. I mean,
Right.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
there's things that you need identification for,
Well,
whether or not.
I hate to say it, and I hate to, this is going to make me sound probably judgmental for even saying it, but I don't see Tisha as the type of woman who's staying in a little mom and pop hole in the wall motel.
No, I don't
I mean,
either.
she's worried about her diamonds. She's not going to go stay in some ratty ass motel
No,
that is just scurvy and gross.
right. Yeah.
I just don't see it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. But let's see. Swerving in my lane, y'all. I'll tell you what stopped me cold in my tracks. I'm not saying I believe this, but I do in a way. Anyway, has anyone ever seen Brian Ladd's channel? Just curious, just asking. I have not seen that channel.
Me either. But th- there's a there's just so much going on right now. I don't even have time to look other places.
Right,
But
right.
when you guys bring up things to look at, I make it a point to go look. I'm always curious.
Undisputed Truth did put up another video this afternoon. Um, they did put up another video. She did put up another video this afternoon.
You guys, see, Joan Brown. I
What?
didn't see that comment coming from you either. She says, "Why not stay with their sugar daddy?" Oh, I love you guys.
Oh, I
Too
love that we
funny.
can be candid and open with you guys. That's the
Yes,
best part. It
it
truly
is.
is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's the guy that has the psychic dreams. I will check him out because unexpectedly I got off work early again today. That's why I'm here. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'm not sure how much weight I put into that, but I'm not going to say that I don't believe in it. I would like to check it out and see what is on there.
It's whether you believe in it or not. I mean, obviously, if it's a boundary for you, I respect that. But whether you believe in it or not, it's always interesting to consider the information as long as you're lining up things and thinking in a logical way.
Right, absolutely. And I'm a firm believer that I think I've said this over and over again. Even if it's speculation, it can make a light bulb go off in your head. So I don't discount looking at anything and everything that we're able to.
There's,
Um,
I mean, there's a case that that I follow, and I know Danielle does too. And there are private investigators on the case, but they are also retired, very high up, like detectives, law enforcement. They consult with FBI agents. Like they're very networked, right? And they will go for a weekend and lock themselves like up somewhere and sit around a round table and speculate all weekend to try to find where to go to look for answers.
Absolutely.
So anybody that
Absolutely.
tells you that speculation is wrong, it's not. The rub is where you're directly accusing somebody without anything to back it up.
Right.
And I don't
Absolutely.
think we're doing that at all. We're just saying,
No, I repeated Tisha's words.
right.
They're laughable, you know.
Mhm.
They're absolutely laughable. I totally respect that you believe that, swerving in my lane. I'm gonna check out that channel this afternoon for sure. Definitely gonna look at it. Hey, Doodle Bug.
Hi,
Thank you for
Doodle.
being here, love. Um, yeah, considering all angles, like April Kate said, is a great thing, and speculation is how one brainstorms, like Yvette said.
Yes.
It's a great
Yes.
thing. It's a
And
great thing to do. I can tell you Amy has witnessed this firsthand, and Joe has witnessed it, Car Guy 72. Um, and Nicole, if she's still down there, we literally all put our brains together.
yes,
And it's very interesting what you can do when you take a group of individuals who are all unique in their own way and all have specific backgrounds, and you put those backgrounds together, it's very interesting what you can find out and what you can do.
it does. And then when they find something that seems like that seems interesting or maybe important, they start finding what in this can we fact check,
Right.
and they do it.
Right.
So Nicole
DJ,
says
I'm with
her
you.
brain hurts.
I'm with you. I think I told Amy last night, I'm like, I feel crazy. I feel
I'm
crazy.
gonna have to go in a second, but I was just gonna say that when we're Danielle and I had a conversation right before she went live, and we were saying that sometimes people don't want to consider different aspects or different theories because they feel badly about it, like it seems negative or it seems this. But when you are collecting data, you have to look at everything. You have
Right.
to,
Right.
whether
Absolutely.
that's the truth you don't want to consider or not. You know, you just do. Otherwise, that's when things become slanted, when you don't consider
Absolutely.
those things.
Absolutely.
So,
I
well,
agree 100%.
thank you
Um,
so much for having me. I'm going to be listening, but I have to run. I have some littles to fetch.
oh, no
So
problem. Drive safe. I will
I
talk to you
will.
later for sure.
I will. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you for coming
Uh,
on, Amy. It's always
oh,
great to talk with you and
no, thank
converse. And
you. It's my pleasure. It's an honor. And it was, you guys are a good group. I had some good little moments where I could let some of this go out in a different way instead of tears. So for that, I
aw,
am grateful.
aw. Well, drive safe. I'll talk to
I
you
will.
later.
All right. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Star Shooters. I have not watched that video yet. I cannot wait to watch it because I really, really like to watch Undisputed Truth. Let me read some comments. I probably won't be staying on much longer. Joan, we weren't on last night, actually. I did not go live last night. I debated about it and I said, no, I'm just going to go to bed. And then I didn't even plan on being on here this afternoon. I figured it would be way later, which I will be on live way later. I'm not sure what time yet. I have some stuff going on, but so you didn't miss anything last night. Yeah, Trina, it is going to be an open book until Gannon is found. See you later, swerving in my lane. Yes, bring Gannon home. Mary, we try to be civilized here. I gave my little disclaimer at the beginning. We don't do any of that other kind of stuff where we bash other YouTubers or put people down. Or, I mean, we might be talking about Tisha, yes, but you know, we're just repeating what Tisha said. So I'm ready for good news too, as well, Olivia. Casey, if you ever go to Colorado, you're not going to drink the water. That's funny. So, it will be interesting to see how this day unfolds. It's only 1:55 in Colorado, so a lot could transpire in the next few hours that they still have daylight during those searches. I believe it was yesterday I read that they did find some evidence on those searches. What that evidence is, we don't know. We know that they asked the locals in that area to be on the lookout for specific pieces of evidence. It's so hard, you guys, because there's so little known about this case. Thank you, Carla. Thank you. Oh, you're right, Casey. It's only 12:55 in Colorado. Sorry, guys. I forgot for a moment that Colorado is a couple hours behind. They're in the mountain time zone. So thank you for correcting me, Casey. What do you mean they had a 52-year-old man not show up for a gig on Monday, found his body Tuesday? What is that about? Oh, look at the blue hearts for Gannon. I'm going to get off here in about 5 minutes, guys. So I'm just reading through your comments, trying to get some blue hearts up on the screen for him. Thank you, Annie. Aw, Doodlebug, you're so sweet. Yeah, I definitely was looking at the time wrong. I'm on Eastern time zone, so sometimes I forget. I'm so sorry if you hear my kids in the background. Can you guys hear them? Boys. They're in the back of my house arguing right now, so. Oh, wow. Casey, are you in our Facebook group? If you are, message me. I want to read about that case. Yes, Yvette, they are. They are. You know, I've learned as the mom of boys, it takes two things: lots of patience and a strong ability to not get fearful over the things that they do, because boys are wild, you guys. They're wild. Wise, Tisha did say that she took him to the doctor at first, and then her story changed that she called a nurse's hotline. And upon calling the nurse's hotline, they were able to resolve the real life, or the issues. Sorry, I was reading a comment after that. They were able to resolve Gannon's issues with the medication. Oh yes, Casey, a loud voice. I have that when I need to for boys. Yeah, she would. Landon would give anything to hear that right now. You're right. Absolutely. My son is actually my youngest son is the same age as Gannon, and um, all of the cases that we cover at Real Massacre Talk, swerving in my lane, she was saying that you have to have a loud voice when you're raising boys. Because I said boys are wild and you need two things to raise them: lots of patience and the ability to overlook some things, like, I don't know, when boys are outside jumping hills with their bikes, you got to have a lot of self control because they're wild. They are wild. Candles and air fresheners help too. No, it's okay if you defend her. It's okay if you defend her. I'm not a biased channel at all. I'm not. If there's something that, offers legitimate defense to, what people think about Tisha, or something that can be clarified, please post that. Please. Please. Glowing Ember, me too. And I've also learned that's why I do not buy pretty and nice things anymore. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until they are grown and out of the house. I buy practical things now, or like my decor comes from the clearance section, because if it gets knocked over and broken, it's okay. It's not some eloquent, expensive piece of art that got destroyed. Absolutely, Olivia. We want the truth and for Gannon to come home. Mark, I'll have to take a look at that video. Carolina girl. See, that's where my kids have both of their names start with the same letter. So sometimes I get a little tongue twisted and call them by the wrong name. But let me read this really quick. Amazingly awkward. Readers take all the research and learning out of the case. They are incorrect for the most part when it comes to mainstream media cases, and lack investigation skills by taking the easy way out. Do you mean that readers, people who read the media stuff, they fail to, maybe you could elaborate on what you mean? Yeah, Annie, if you don't want it broken, then move it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Happy Valentine's Day. So, in honor of Gannon today is the day. We want him brought home. We hope that he is brought home. And I am going to ask you guys to do this, because I saw Landon speaking about Gannon's corny little jokes that he told. So if you know a corny little joke, leave it down in the comments. Leave it down in the comments so that we can show them to Gannon when he comes home. And I can show them to Landon in our Facebook group. I know that she's enjoying seeing comments on her post about Casey, me too. I said that to Amy earlier. But yeah, leave a corny little joke for Landon, or not Landon, Gannon. Landon can read them right now, and then leave some hearts for him. Leave some blue hearts for this little boy. Somebody asked me up above where Kristen and company is. I don't know. She's a moderator. I kind of went live spur of the moment. I didn't schedule it, so maybe she didn't see that I was live. Usually my lives are scheduled. So I didn't schedule this one. I just kind of hopped on. Aw. That's cute, Amanda. Aw, your BB boy's glowing ember. That's so sweet. She might be at work. Yeah, she might be. I typically wouldn't be on this time of day. Thank you, swerving in my lane. I plan on being on later, like way, way later. I'm not sure what time I will be on. Yeah, sending Gannon some Valentine hugs. Oh, thank you, Casey. I will. Did you send it to my personal messenger? Stephanie, there's not any news. If you rewind to the beginning of this, I kind of gave the latest update. There's really, really not any news right now. Nothing besides their searches are continuing today. Aw. Well, with that said, guys, I am going to log off for the afternoon. I will be back later. Fill the chat with some blue hearts and love for Gannon. Aw, thank you, Hybrid. Thank you. I will be back later today. Until then, all of you enjoy your Valentine's Day with all the people you love. Keep praying, sending good vibes, doing what you do, for Gannon. Keep hope alive. And okay, thanks, Casey. And we are going to be back later. I will be back on here later. Oh gosh. Oh boy, Nicole. I think we opened up our. That's funny. Um, one more thing. If you are following the Tylee Vallow, and I'm sorry, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, I got tongue twisted, case, the missing case, they are going to. JJ's grandparents are going to be on Dateline tonight. So that's cute, Amanda. If you guys want to watch Dateline tonight, we do have a big group for that case. It's kind of low key right now. So no problem, Maggie. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining me. I love seeing so many familiar faces in the chat. All right, guys. I am for real logging off. Thank you for being here and enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back on later tonight. Yes, the 2-hour Dateline tonight for the Tylee and JJ case. We have a group on that. I don't know if we unarchived it or not. That's a whole nother crazy situation within itself. It's nuts. So with that said, everybody have a great day and thanks for being here. Bye, guys.